Solution 3 has actually fixed an issue the Planet games had over the course of 8 years. It managed to fix this simple yet very important issue and made the game so much better for casual players and players who don't really like the piece-by-piece building. Which is insane considering this is the first Jurassic World Evolution with piece-by-piece building. And there's a hint on screen already what they fixed, but in order to explain to you guys, and also because I think a lot of Planet players may have clicked on the video, we need to switch over into Planet Coaster 2 in order to explain to you what I'm talking about, because essentially this has been the same for almost 8 years in Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2, and it always was a bit of a huge issue. So let's get over. We are in one of my Planet Coaster 2 parks. This one over here has a lot of buildings that also could be utilized as something. Let me just quickly explain the point. We are talking about the blueprints and shareability of blueprints. So just for the context, I am a creative builder. I don't need anything from what I'm going to talk about in this video, but I know that the majority of people playing these games don't want to sit and build these kind of things for hours and hours. Like, let's for example focus on this building for a second. This entire building took me about 3.5 hours. That is just 0.1% of the people that want to do this. The other 99% of people want to just use these buildings, plop them down, and build a park of their dreams. They want to sit down for an hour and a half and build a wonderful park, a Jurassic park, a water park, whatnot, and they want to go for a style that they just like. Now, how does that work in Planet Coaster? Because there are ways of doing this. So, in order to kind of place down blueprints, first of all, you need to create blueprints. And this in this game is not really too complicated. You know, you click on your build, it's pretty straightforward, and then you can turn that into a blueprint. So for example, over here you can see I do have quite a lot of blueprints, and we already have the main street shop by Rudi. That's the one I created. So I have already done this. Okay, that is fine. Now, how do we get this to other people? Well, it's not straightforward though. You do this in a kind of different way. You go basically to the frontier workshop that you have to open. It's an extra menu, and in this menu we are going to have my workshop, and you can see there are my uploads or upload a creation. That's what we want to do. So we're going to upload to a creation, and you can see there is my main street shop. I have already uploaded this, so we are not going to do this again. As you can see, it's in my uploaded ones, but you can also upload this as a new. You click on that, and now things get a bit interesting. There is not really that much you can do about this. You can say a magical main street shop to be filled by you. Very nice. You can do this, you know. In Planet Zoo, you'll have the option to also add animal tags or building tags if you want to, which you can't really do too much in here. Now, this is kind of a thing. You can still filter by tags. The problem is that most of these tags are obviously kind of pointless because I, as a builder, I built my builds obviously with a lot of different items. So in this building, you'll find items from the sorcery pack, from the spooky, we don't have the spooky, from the fairy tale pack, from the in-game packs. So when we go to these building pieces, you can see that, actually what we can do is we can go to the scenery, and then we can go to blueprints, and then we can see, let's say, type in shop, and where is my shop? Oh, we can actually click on that one. Now you can see, look at all the themes that I've been using for actually what should only be a Main Street style. Here's the other shop. You can see I literally used all the themes. And this is a problem, because the way this game works is that you can definitely do a thing. You can build these things, right? Now, I'm gonna go and build this now. Just for showcase reasons, I'm gonna go to scenery again. I'm gonna place this shop down, and you can see that works. And you would say, okay, hey, Rudi, where's the issue? That's fine, isn't it? Well, it's a shop, correct? Now, usually what you would do is you would go to a menu, and then you create a custom one, and you're gonna go to shop. So in here, it's basically a bit of an issue. You need to first of all move yourself to shops, and then you say souvenir shop, for example, and there's not my shop in here. Why is it not in here? Just click through the different ones. Well, because I made this as a shop shell to be used by you guys, and I could then turn this into any of the shops, but I would have to build this a couple of times to be in here. Well, this is a bit of an issue, and it would technically work, but then again, it's not really in here. And what is if you want to find a new creation? Well, then you would need to go to the Frontier Workshop and boom, a new menu pops up and you then go to browse and then you say, I want to have a, let's say, a fantasy shop. I don't know if that works, but we're going to go fantasy shop. We're going to find one. So the resort shop, for example, over here. Let's go in here. So we have Yasakura Ginji. Okay, we're going to do this right now. And you can see now, you can see all the tags in here. See all tags. This is the theme is blueprint. Okay, fine. Services is toilets. Okay, nature region, as you can see, is basically fitting to all of them except taiga. And then you've got all the different themes, but not these 3 themes. I'm assuming this one has been built before the release of all the upcoming stuff, so very early on. Okay, fine. Now you can see also in here, we can now put this down and subscribe to it. Now downloading, and it's been installed. Okay, now we have to go to the menu and search for that. And now, what was I about to build? Was it a toilet? I think it was a toilet, right? So we gotta go and have a look. So we are in shops. Okay, that doesn't work. Utilities, maybe it is. Nope. Is it in staff facilities? Nope. Is it in services? Yes, it is. There is a toilet, and now we have it. And now we can build this. However, we only can build this if we have all the themes researched. Let's have a look. We are in Sandbox, right? Shall we see how it works when we actually play the game? So therefore, I'm going to go to Settings, Sandbox Settings, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the research tree and apply the changes. And you'll see in a second, that will take a moment until everything is changed. So if we go now back into the menu that we had, we go back to our facilities, you can see this one just works. The reason for that is that in this sandbox, everything is researched. Now, the problem though is if we go into our menu and then we go to the research, there we have it, and we go to the different stuff. For example, in, I think, where we have it, I think it's not in here. Attractions and shops, facilities. Usually you would need to kind of unlock these things first, but as there's a sandbox, you have access to all of them. But in the different modes, you need to unlock the different types of themes that you have in the game. So you don't have access to all of them from the beginning, which is also a bit of a pain in Planet Zoo as well, because in Planet Zoo, you literally start the game with the base game, and then you need to research, let's say, the Asian theme or the Moroccan theme or whatever, the Indian theme, you know? And the problem then is, if you create your blueprint, the issue is that if you do not specifically use all the pieces and set your filter to, and let's say content packs, and no, actually not content packs, we go to, like, hold on, I need to create a custom. There you go. And we're going to say content packs. We could say main game because we don't want to have any DLC item in here. And then we go to, and we say we want to build a Western theme. You are limited to 379 pieces. If you don't do that and you're just saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a Western build, but I'm using all the pieces. The only thing I don't do is I don't use the sorcery pack. You have 4,827 pieces. So every creator obviously is building stuff. Now, I can show you something. I have a Western build in here. So if I go to my blueprints, I need to go, and you can see I need to search for myself as well. I need to go to Western. There, do I have it in here? No, actually, this is my spinning coaster. I think I have to go to coasters. Coasters, and then I go to create. Are we in blueprints? Yes, we are. And I'm not even sure where mine is. Oh, I can't show you because it's not research. Hold on for a second. We got to turn that off again. See, this is what I meant. It's getting complicated, which is exactly my point. And you'll see how much simpler that is in Jurassic World Evolution 3. So we're going to turn that off again. So we don't have to take that one. And now we go back to our coasters. You can see there are a lot more blueprints now, and you can also see by that little thing, this is from the workshop I downloaded, but there is mine. Okay, this is the Saloon Stormer I've built. And if we just have that one and we build it, and now you have seen it doesn't even show me the tags anymore because we are in Sandbox, and it did notice that we do not need this because I have researched them all, but before you saw, it does tell me. Now, if we go into this build and we place it down, it doesn't even matter, I'm just gonna place it down, you will be able to see that in here I used a couple of Western pieces, but there are also wooden pieces from other sets. Like, if you have all these pieces selected, there are like various pieces from different types of sets, and the problem is, if you only have researched the Western set, you'll not be able to use this anymore. It is a bit of an issue, or let's say it is a big issue when you want to play that casual. To be fair, I don't even know if they took it completely out and now you have the ability to always have all the different packs at your hand. Still, my point stands, it's super complicated to get it in-game, specifically for the build you want to do. Like, you want to just have a little shop over here. You just want to have, let's say, a juice shop. You go basically to the facilities, and now what you naturally gonna do is you go to the juice shop section, and as you can tell, there's so little in here. And if I want to now have that, I need to exactly go to the workshop and know what I want. So I'm gonna say browse again, and let's say juice shop drink, let's say. Let's see if we can find anything. So this is in here, but now we also need to filter, because otherwise we are not going to get these things. What we're gonna need is a drink, it's one, and then say confirm the filters, and now we are in here. That is all drink for us available. And then let's say all these options in here. So let's say these ones, 3 of them. Okay, subscribe, and then we need to go back, and it is in here, and we can build this. But now we get 3 of them. We don't even want to have 3 of them, which is, in this case, to be fair, also not going to be fixed. But yeah, so these 3 are in here. You could place them like so, and now you have them finally in. You could then also delete one if you don't fancy having them. You've got these things in here, whatever, and that is the way. This is the way how you put these things down. It does work, but it is not super convenient. And as I said, the problem in Planet Zoo, for example, is even bigger, because then you will actually need to go out of the game into the Steam workshop. So I know a lot of people are a little bit annoyed by the fact that Frontier has created their own workshop, which is A, required for cross-platform, but B, also is a bit more nice to have this integrated into the game, which is exactly my point to tell you. We are jumping over into Jurassic World Evolution 3, and Planet Friends, you have to be strong now, because you're going to see how much simpler this is. Little correction, I was wrong. Before we jump over, just a statement. The game does not have any barrier anymore when it comes to the different themes. The themes will always be researched from the beginning. I did start a challenge park over here, and as you can tell in the research, there is no such a thing than themes. So it seems like they took out theme research for Planet Coaster 2, which I didn't even know by now. But that's a good one, because now you can build at least all themes. In Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Zoo, though, there is a theme research mandatory. And also for the integration in the game, my argument still stands. So let's move over into Jurassic World Evolution 3. So as this is Jurassic World Evolution 3, the first installment with the Frontier Workshop, they seem to have learned their lesson quite dramatically. Now, basically, the workshop itself works pretty much the same. If we go to the workshop, we can just go through here, through the menu into the workshop and browse the workshop. You will basically see a lot of similarities. You can say Jurassic Park and you search for it, and you'll get to see a lot of items that will potentially relate more or less, depending on how the people kind of tagged it to Jurassic Park. So that is nice, and you can click on that one, you find that nice, you can either favorite or download, you can go to the private side of the creator, and so on and so forth. That's all good. This has been the same, but they managed to do something completely different, because how do you get them when you downloaded these items? In Planet Coaster, you've seen, you basically go to the menu, you click blueprints, or you go into the menu where a certain building is, you go to blueprints, and then you have to find this from the huge list of blueprints. Well, in this game, it works a little bit different, and I gotta say, much more convenient. If you go and you just build the game as you want to, following happens. Let's say we want to build another hatchery over here, okay? So we're gonna go to enclosures, and I have also research turned on, so you can see this is nothing to do with the sandbox. It actually is in the game like that. You go to the hatchery, and then we can place down this wonderful hatchery over here. But as this is the standard hatchery, we'll be getting bored of it relatively soon. And now you can see down here, in the menu of the hatchery, you already have 2 featured creations from the workshop. You can see there's like a slight more turquoise look, or turquoise, still have no idea how to pronounce that in English, overlay. And if you remember how that is in the Planet games, and it used to be even more so with the Steam Workshop, you now then needed to go to the workshop, download the item. See what happens if I say, hey, I like that, I want to build this. Click, a very quick loading screen, boom, there's that creation. And now we go to show more, and it doesn't open the workshop, it does just open an in-game menu. Just right click, so that's gone, well, you're gone. But go back in here, you know, build the enclosure again, say show more, and now you have all the list of all the different hatcheries. And look at that, there are 31 pages already. Now, if you're like, say, let's say classic. I don't know if there's something with classic, if someone, okay, no one labeled that classic. Oh, wait, they did. Look at that. We have the Jurassic Park style hatchery, which seems to be a classic. Now, you click on that one, and, whoops, where's it gone? Let's say Jurassic. There you go. Wait a second until it's loading. There you have it, and we click on that one, quickly load it, boom, there it is. It is so freaking convenient, and the biggest change is that you are not limited to the building set. I have literally not a single piece released in here. Oh my god, there's Jurassic 2077. This is interesting, a futuristic one. Oh my god, look at that factory kind of thing. That looks fancy, futuristic. You can see who the creator is. You know, you can just hover over here. You see from who that is. You can preview in game. What the heck? Oh, it does actually show it just really quick in game. But yeah, so that's super convenient, and it does work the exact same way also with the amenities. So over here, for example, I haven't researched all the other amenities, but I have the small shopping amenity, and by that you have also the custom designs right at your fingertip. You know, build that one over here, and you've got the wonderful fossil zone. Oh god, that looks so good, by the way. It just looks so good. So good. You know, you've that done in here. Want to build another one, just go to guest stuff, build something again. So this is the fossil zone. You could then go and show more and say like, okay, let's type in fossil. Maybe there's another version of that one. Okay, well, maybe not from the same creator, but that looks really cool. You could even check from whom the first one was and try to find kind of the similar ones. Here there's someone who built like a huge kind of seating area with it. So that is all so convenient and so nice. You know, you then can edit these things or even drag it more in the ground, aligning that to the grass, if you will. So that is so freaking cool. You know, this makes the whole game so much more approachable. And this is also pretty cool. If I go to the research, you can see the research of guest stuff, for example, includes that we could go for the medium amenities. We don't have any scientists, I can't do that right now, but then it'll unlock the medium amenities, but with all the styles included. You've seen that in Planet Coaster it is a bit of an issue, because if you have the research enabled, you will not be able to have, for example, anything that has the, let's say, Asian thing in it. But I did outline why this is a problem and why creators are extremely limited by that. The only thing you have is, and to be completely transparent to you, let's say, for example, let's use an emergency shelter. I'm not sure if too many people have done an emergency shelter, but oh my god, this is a Jurassic Parkified bunker. Look at that one. Ooh, that looks also freaking cool. Anyways, let's go to show more. And now you will see, after a little quick loading time, there you come in, 19 pages. Well, quite a lot of people have built this one. Oh, look at that one. There's Alpine Shelter. So good. But you can now go to filters, and now you have a whole bunch of filters. You can see at the moment the emergency shelter obviously is pre-selected because you wanted to build that from the menu, which is pretty good. But you can also go to the themes. And as you can see over here, the themes also can be tagged. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a tricky one, because as soon as I use a piece from the Europe set, for example, it's going to label this as a Europe building. So yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. It's nice that you can tag it, but I think for creators that isn't exactly, that is the core of the issue. But as long as it's only a filter and not a mandatory, it is all good. But what's also pretty cool is you can get for the base material, you can say, you know, I want to have wood as a base material, or I want to exclude the Badlands set, for example, because I don't own this, okay? So that's that, and I'm going to accept, and now you will be seeing that it's going to be down to 12 pages. So we lost 7 pages of creations because, well, either there's not the base material we set, what we set is, oh, actually, the base material we set is wood. Okay, let's have a look if that had an outcome. Well, I mean, you see people have been using wood in here. It's fine. That one also looks freaking interesting. Ooh, I mean, there is slight wood involved. This is what I meant. It doesn't really help too much with the wood, because as soon as you have one wooden piece, that kind of doesn't work. But the search function obviously makes a lot of sense. So if we reset all the filters and say accept, and we say wood, maybe we'll find something. If someone called this thing wooden something, or give this a tag with wood, this is pretty good. So please, if you create stuff, make sure to set tags. I also forgot about that, by the way, but it is definitely helpful. But now you obviously get a lot more wooden stuff, and I also, if you were wondering why this is not emergency shelter anymore, this is because I did also get rid of this tag itself. Now, as I said, it is so much more convenient. The workshop is so much more useful now because you literally don't have to even go to it. And if you are in scenery, because obviously you can still have blueprints that are not related to any in-game facility, you just have blueprints in here, and it again works exactly the same way. And in this specific case, though, you go to the workshop because it is just a wider range of stuff. But when it comes to the sheer gameplay, you just have the insane ability to do so many cool things. I can't even say how freaking happy I am with this function in the game. I just noticed that, and I was like, this is such a major change, especially for people who just want to jump in and create any kind of park, but they don't want to build themselves, you know? If you are someone who's like, I want to build something Asian, you know, and you go in and you're like, okay, let's build an innovation center. However, I don't want to have the normal one, you know? I want to have like a green garden. Look at that one. This is a freaking cool kind of, it has some similarities though to the other one. So we're going to show more, and we say Asian, hit enter, and there you get it. You get your Asian creation of your wishes. You know, there's a wonderful Asian one, and if you don't like that one, there are even other ones. Or you set the filter to Asian and go for the one you were looking for. So that is exactly how you get more versatility, and you apparently have seen already how many blueprints there are in, and we're only like 2 weeks into the game's release, which makes it even more obvious how crazy that's going to become as soon as this game is out for like half a year or so. This is going to be pretty insane to see how many buildings and creations you'll be having literally at your fingertip. So let me know in the comments what you think about this change. I love it, and I really hope that they will fix this in Planet Coaster 2 as well, or if not, then hopefully for the next upcoming Frontier game in this genre, because it is so much better for especially the casual players. And I mean this by heart, because I don't play this way. I don't need it. I built my stuff myself. That's totally fine. But I know how much of a pain for the majority of people that is. They just don't want to sit there to build stuff hours. And that's what we are for, you know. I love to share the stuff, but I'm not the perfect example of how this should be played, you know. People want to sit down for an hour and a half and create something, and want to make ground and want to see the result. So this is the exact thing they need, and I really do hope that this is going to be fixed. Alrighty, that's been it. I hope you found this interesting. Today we don't have a real build. I have been doing some stuff in this park, by the way, but I'm not going to show. This is an old save. It's going to be up tomorrow. It's going to be very amazing. I can't wait. And until then, have a good time and goodbye. Also, never mind, of course. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I would be mega happy. And, well, that's that. Forgot that. Okay, have a good one. Bye.